Welcome to the iPad Possibilities Podcast, episode number 20, Use Case, VNC, and the iPad. Well, welcome, and this is the iPad Possibilities Podcast. I'm Tim, and I'm your host of this show, and as always, I am here to bring you the latest possibilities and potential of Apple's new device, the iPad. And today, I'm going to bring you another episode, and you might be getting this at the same exact time as you got episode 19 on the possibilities of 4.0. In this episode, I wanted to give you another episode very quickly because the last one was not as full length as some of the other ones. So I wanted to do a side A and side B sort of this week with two episodes at the same time pretty much. And I wasn't sure if I should merge these episodes into one or not. I decided to go with separate episodes and create a new type of episode. This type of episode is what I call a use case episode. I'm going to be doing several of these episodes. Let me know what you think of this format of an episode. But these episodes are going to be different use cases that you can use your iPad for. So, for instance, this week, I will be discussing using the iPad as a screen for your Mac Mini. Now, earlier, a couple of episodes ago, it's been a while now, but earlier on I discussed the possibilities of getting rid of the screen, the mouse, and the keyboard with your Mac Mini and having your Mac Mini pretty much stored in a closet out of the way. You don't even see it, it's gone. And using VNC clients on the iPad to interact with your Mac Mini. And I've been doing some testing, as I do have a Mac Mini now. It's the latest generation, and I've been doing some testing. And this episode today, I'll share with you my experiences with getting rid of your keyboard, your mouse, your display, and using solely a Mac Mini connected via a power AC outlet and Ethernet or Wi-Fi. So you're getting rid of all the peripherals that make the Mac Mini large, such as the keyboard, mouse, and display. So that is the episode for today. I'll be right back with you after we get to this show's sponsors for today. So this show is supported by the It's On My Way app, found in the App Store for $2.99. With It's On My Way, you can quickly plan out your errands for the afternoon, get them done quickly and efficiently with It's On My Way in the App Store for $2.99. Well, now on to the main content of this show. This is my first use case episode, and this one, as I said before, is on VNC and the iPad. And really really just using the iPad as a display and input device for your Mac Mini. Now, the Mac Mini, as you know, is a very small Mac. It's 6x6 by 6x6. It's just a big square, about 2 inches high, and only 3 pounds. It's a very small Mac that's easily transportable, and the only big parts are really the display. And we're going to look into what happens if we get rid of the display and use the iPad as your display. Is this possible? Is this a good thing to do? Is this a workable thing to do? And we'll be getting into that for this episode. Now, to do all this, I was looking through the App Store for different VNC apps and was trying to find the best one that would allow me to connect to my Mac Mini from anywhere in the world. So I didn't have to set up any kind of tunnel or anything like that. I wanted to find something that anybody could set up. You don't have to be a geek to set this up. You don't have to be a big computer nerd to do this. And instead, find a solution that anybody can use. So that's what I did. I found the best VNC app that I've seen so far for the iPad, and it's not the best simply because of the application itself on the iPad. It is the best because it has what I see as a seamless experience setting it up, getting it ready so you can actually access your Mac Mini anywhere in the world over any kind of connection. I tested this in a very locked down environment. I live on a university campus, and I've tried to set up static IPs. I've tried to set up different things in the past, trying to get screen sharing to work over the internet, not on the same network. And I've failed every single time trying to set that up because it has been impossible to do that with the university's very locked down settings here on campus. But with iTeleport for the iPad and iPhone, they've fixed this. They've done some magic behind the scenes. In order to do this, you have to run a couple different apps on the Mac end. And I believe they have this for Windows as well. They do. They have this for Windows and Mac. And if you already own iTeleport, they're upgrading their iPhone version for free. I did not go that route since I do not already have it, so I just bought the iPad version. And I don't anticipate I would want to do this on the iPhone with just a small screen available. So I did just go out and buy iTeleport for the iPad. And what you do is to set it up, it's very simple. You first set up the screen sharing aspect on your Mac. And I use the recommended method, not the quick method. So I use the recommended method by them, which you install their server. And it's just running all the time on your Mac. It was very simple to set up and very easy. It works seamlessly. And then I installed iTeleport Connect. Now, this is a really interesting way to do this. Now, iTeleport Connect enables you to access your Mac from anywhere in the world over any internet connection available, basically. So it connects to you via your Google account. So you sign into your Google account on your iPad and on your Mac. And on your Mac, you use iTeleport Connect to do this. You sign in, and through that, it enables you to connect to your Mac anywhere in the world. And this is something that is a big problem for most people. It's a hard thing to do right. It's a hard thing to set it up so there are no difficulties connecting, no difficulties getting through firewalls and things like that. But with this application, they've done it. They've fixed it. It's a great integration between the Mac and the iPad. So it was very easy to set up. I was up and running within, I think, about 10 minutes is how long it took me to set it up. So you get that set up on your Mac, and then you download iTeleport for the iPad. They have an iPhone version, so if you already own that, you can get that, or you can purchase the iPhone version and wait for the update to come out. It is coming, so that might be a better option if you want it for both of your devices. You can go that route as well. So what you do on the iPad, you launch up iTeleport, and I just launch up, I'm in the internet screen, and you just enter your Gmail account, enter your password and all that kind of things like that. You sign in, and once you sign in, it recognizes that your Mac Mini is available, and I just click on my Mac Mini, and it's loading up now. I'm doing this on the same network right now, and it's loading up. It says waiting for connection, and I'm doing this real time. It's authenticating, loading the screen right now. So in this short time, it is just about to launch up the screen here with the Mac Mini. And it does this with a beautiful interface, a very elegant way, a very Mac way, a very iPad way. And it's loading the screen up still now. It's taking a little bit. Here we go. It is up and running. Now, it is a great... one thing that's very cool is the Mac Mini works great without the Bluetooth keyboard or mouse, or even the display. Now, this is interesting because in the past, in older operating system versions, you needed to have a display hooked up, you needed to have a keyboard and a mouse hooked up to operate your Mac. If you didn't have that, you could not get into it. And it is a pretty amazing thing because when your display is unhooked, you're actually able to change the resolution of the display because it's all done through VNC. It detects your VNC client as a display now, which is something that I think it's pretty new. It's probably done with Snow Leopard. I'm not sure how this works on Leopard, but it does work on Snow Leopard quite well. You can have your Mac Mini. For my use case, I actually wanted to tell you guys, I do many podcasts, and I just got done recording today in Success with a friend of mine, Eric Pullum. And what I did to do that is I brought my Mac Mini, I brought the power cable, and that's all I brought for my Mac Mini, connected via Wi-Fi to my MiFi, and I used my iPad to control the screen of my Mac Mini. And we recorded using my Yeti Blue mic at my friend's house, simply over VNC with the iPad and the Mac Mini. And I have to tell you, it was a wonderful experience. It worked great. It was fast. It made sense. The application makes sense. If you learn the interface of the application, it's very easy. With simple gestures, you're able to pop up the keyboard very easily. You just do a 3-note little or 3-finger drag. The keyboard comes up, comes down, and you're able to pinch in and out, and it's a wonderful interface. I'm not sure how to explain it. You just have to try it out and see the videos. But iTeleport is a wonderful interface that easily allows you to access the keyboard, access command keys, and special keys that you don't get with the built-in keyboard. So it's a wonderful application that I actually used today. That's why I wanted to bring this episode out to you, share this episode with you, is because I actually did this. I actually tested this out. The Mac Mini, it works great without any of the peripherals if you just connect to it via a VNC client. And it was pretty interesting because when I connected iTeleport to the Mac Mini and I had Bluetooth keyboards and things turned off, it normally is searching for that Bluetooth keyboard and mouse. And once I connected the Mac Mini to the VNC client, those things went away. It didn't start looking for any keyboards or mouse. It detected that my iPad is now the keyboard and mouse of my Mac Mini. And that was really cool because I don't think that was around in the past. So I was easily able to do this, easily able to record a whole week of episodes. We recorded 5 different episodes using the iPad as the display, as the keyboard, as the mouse through iTeleport on the iPad. It worked great. I had no lag. It was actually keeping up with the level meter on the QuickTime, so I get to see how the levels were as I was recording. I was really blown away at how well this worked. It was a much better experience than actually using my MacBook Pro as we did weeks before, because with the iPad just laying down on the table, I didn't have that getting in my way. Instead, I had the Mac Mini with the mic just placed directly on top of the Mac Mini, and it was a perfect, very open environment to record. It was a better experience because I was able to zoom in on that very small recording screen for QuickTime. I just record using QuickTime on Snow Leopard, and I was able to zoom in on that upper left-hand corner and simply record. And it worked great, and I think for a lot of people that had Mac Minis that will begin to use the iPad as their main computing device and need to use the Mac Mini rather to encode video, to do the more advanced things, to need to get the processor power working. If you don't need the screen real estate of a 30-inch display or 20-inch display, I think a Mac Mini could start to become a really viable alternative for your display. And I think, as we've already seen, the jailbreak has been announced that it is available for the iPad. It's not out for release for you guys to use yet. But I know with the iPhone, one of the most appealing things that I saw was there's mouse support in the iPhone with the jailbreak. Now, it's not really useful there, but when the iPad jailbreak comes out, what if you can then use the mouse and keyboard with the iPad? So you've got your full mouse and keyboard, and you remote into your Mac Mini, and now you really do have everything you need to use your computer at its full usage. It won't play back video perfectly because it's over the air, but everything else, you can pretty much replace your desktop computer peripherals with one device, the iPad. You can use that to interact with your Mac Mini. And I think it's a wonderful way to go. So iTeleport for the iPad, it runs $24, I believe, $25. It's kind of an expensive app, but as I'm using it, I'm finding how useful it is. I'm finding how incredibly simple it is and how powerful it really is. So those are my thoughts on using the Mac Mini stored away someplace else that you don't really need to access it, except for those simple times where you want to go on the road with the Mac Mini as a full computer. So this is another interesting use case. Say you want to bring your Mac Mini, a powerful little machine, on the road, and you want to just hook it up there and work on it with your iPad. Now you can. It works great. I believe we'll see many more VNC applications come about as it advances even more and more. But I think the best way to go right now is iTeleport. It gives my full endorsement. It's a great possibility of this. If I used my Mac less and didn't record as many shows and simply used my Mac to encode video, as I believe one day I won't, because I'll always be using it to write websites and things like that. But I think a lot of people that simply need the Mac to sync their iPads with, to do things like that, that is one great scenario. I think it'd be interesting if Anthony Moody of iPad alone, if he didn't have the iMac and instead he had the Mac Mini, if he went that route and just used the iPad as a display and input device for his computer. I think that could be a potential future where we just remote into desktop computers as we need them, and we rely more and more on the iPad as our main computing device. So I think it's an amazing future. I think it's an amazing possibility. So this was use case episode number 1. Using the Mac Mini with the iPad, using that as the display and input device. Please, as always, send your feedback to iPadPossibilities@gmail.com. I'd be very interested to know how you guys like these use case episodes. Do you like them? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on using the Mac Mini with a VNC client to interact with it? The one downside I saw is there's no way to do sound output through VNC. That may happen in the future, I'm not sure, but that was the one downside I did see, as well as a little bit of lag time, but not much. So please send your thoughts on that, iPadPossibilities@gmail.com and 209-542-iPad. That's 209-542-4723. So send your feedback in, and I'd love to hear what you guys think. And if you'd like to support this show, you can do that by purchasing the It's On My Way app for $2.99. And you can also purchase the iPad Possibilities podcast app found in the App Store for $2.99. And with that application, you'll get the shows 24 hours in advance. So you'll get the shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday instead of Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for the regular release of the shows. As well, to support the show, if you want to do that, you can do that by leaving a review in iTunes, as well as subscribing in iTunes. So if you want to support the show, that is the way to do it. And if you'd like to find more information about this show and other shows, you can go to thepossibilitiesnetwork.com. It is an entire network filled with different audio shows, video shows soon to come, and live shows, as this show is one of those. A whole network of shows on possibilities and potential. We have several daily shows, Inspiration Today in Success, and many other shows like that. So more information about this show and other shows at thepossibilitiesnetwork.com. This is Tim Chatton with iPad Possibilities, and we will speak again.